Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carly. I am a knitter and yarn dyer coming to you from Southern Alberta, Canada. Today I have a fun video lined up for you all. I thought it would be a fun idea to go through all of my most worn knits. So I have 5 pieces here today that I will talk about. We'll go through the yarn that I chose, the fit, the pattern, the designer, the construction, and why I think they have become my most worn knits. So we will start with what I'm wearing, and this is the Lacy Loop Tee by Other Loops. I recently showed this on a podcast because I finished this over the summer, and even though it is a newly finished piece, I've already worn this so many times. I've worn this way more times than some pieces that I finished a year or even 2 years ago. So that's why I've included this in the most worn items. I've also paired this knit with some jewelry today from Ana Luisa, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video. Today I am wearing the Frida earrings, the Laura necklace, and the Katie necklace. I thought all of these items looked so cute together, especially with the matching pearls for the earrings and the Katie necklace. And then this Laura necklace just added a nice little simple layering piece for the necklaces. If you aren't familiar with Ana Luisa, they are backed by a 2-year warranty, have exceptional quality, and have an amazing price point starting at just $39. Ana Luisa's holiday sale is live with up to 25% off site-wide. Now is the perfect time to buy a little something special for yourself or get a head start on your gift shopping. I've really enjoyed wearing these pieces over the last few weeks. I think that they go with so many things, especially with these pearl earrings and the pearl necklace as a matching set. It is just so cute and timeless, and it just elevates all of my pieces that are quite simple in my wardrobe. I find that they look really cute on their own, but I also love having these options and being able to wear multiple pieces at once. Ana Luisa is the perfect gifting solution for any loved ones in your life. With their sustainable jewelry, their timeless style, now is the perfect time to get up to 25% off site-wide. I love wearing my Ana Luisa jewelry. I can barely even tell that I'm wearing them, but I just love the little extra sparkle that they add to my style. If you've had your eye on Ana Luisa jewelry, now is the perfect time. Use my link below and get up to 25% off site-wide, or you can scan the QR code here on the screen. Thank you, Ana Luisa Jewelry, for sponsoring today's video. So back to the Lacy Loop Tee by Other Loops. Like I said, I finished this in the summer, but I have gotten so much wear out of it, and I think that has to do with a lot of the modifications and the yarn that I chose. So I won't go into a whole lot of detail with this one since this was just featured in a podcast episode, but I'll just quickly go through the modifications that I did, the construction of it, and the yarn. So the yarn was from my Nana stash, and it is unfortunately discontinued. This is Penguin Fluoride in the color white. It has a lot of silk slubs spun into it, so that is what created this really cool, unique texture on this fabric. And I think that is a huge reason why I get so much wear out of this. I just really am drawn to this natural color for one, because I think it just goes with so many pieces in my wardrobe, and also it just seems really easy to throw on and wear with anything. Another reason why I really like this yarn and the fabric is that it is silk and viscose, I believe, and it just has created a really breezy, light fabric for myself. And I find that it is good not only in the summer, but I've been able to wear it in the fall and will continue to wear it in winter and spring. This fabric does have a lot of, or the pattern rather, has a lot of lace worked into it. So it does have some holes throughout the garment, which I really do love because it just brings in some nice airflow. And in the wintertime, I can also pair this with a cardigan if I'm feeling a little chilly. So with all that said, this has just become a really versatile piece for me, and that is a huge factor in the wearability and the likelihood of getting the most wear out of some of these pieces. And so that has been something that I've been focusing on in the last year or so, is just trying to make pieces that I'll be able to wear throughout the entire 4 seasons. Of course, I do have some pieces that I can only wear during the winter or summer, but the majority of them I'm really trying to find that, or trying to make them really wearable throughout the whole year, especially where I live in a climate with all 4 seasons. it makes it pretty difficult if I have to store a bunch of summer knits or store a bunch of winter knits, and there's just not enough room in my closet. And so I'm really just trying to make pieces that work all year round. I'll quickly dive into the modifications on this one in case you missed it in my podcast episode. The first one being this neckline. It's supposed to be a ribbed neckline, but I just did a rolled hem, so it's just stockinette neckline because I didn't want to do any of the ribbing in this yarn. With all of the texture, I just think it would look a little messy. So I followed that modification all the way down. I omitted any ribbing for the hem, and I actually added in a little elastic to the bottom so it just like cinches in and it appears as though it's always tucked in. However, it is just an elastic. Another modification I did was I lengthened the sleeves a little bit, and it's just more of a 3/4 length sleeve on myself, which is a sleeve that is probably one of my favorites and one that I really enjoy. I'm so glad that I decided to knit this piece. I don't know if I would knit it again, just because I think one is plenty for my wardrobe, especially since I knit it in a nice neutral color. It is just a staple piece for me now. And to be honest, I didn't really love the process of knitting this one, so I don't think I need to make another one. However, I would possibly use this pattern as a base and maybe just do a plain stockinette one in the future, and one that isn't as textured, and that would make it a little bit easier to work on, because working with this type of yarn that's really thick and thin and different slubs of silk, it's a little bit finicky to work with and not the most enjoyable. Let's move on to my next piece, and also these aren't shown in any particular order. I have not documented how often I wear these pieces. I know some people do that, which is really impressive. I, however, am not organized enough to do that. So this isn't shown in any particular order. I just grabbed the pieces that I thought that I wore the most. And so the next piece here, this is the Lily Top by Yumiko Alexander. Have it right here. And this piece has just been one of my favorites for a really long time. I knit this in Juniper Moon Zoe in the colorway Sage. It is a nice cotton linen blend, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, it is a cotton linen blend, so it is really nice and breathable for the summertime. And that's why it is also so versatile for me, because I can wear it on its own just as a tank top in the summer, but then I layer it over a white tee or a white long sleeve shirt in the wintertime or fall and spring, and it is perfect. I just think that this could probably be the piece that I've worn the most. So let's go into the modifications for this one, because it does look quite different from the original pattern. And this pattern only has 3 sizes, but it's very simple. I believe it's an 8-stitch repeat, so you can easily modify it by adding another 8 stitches or subtracting another 8 stitches if you want to increase or decrease the size range there. And it is really simple construction. It's actually 2 pieces knit flat and seamed together. And the original has sleeves on this one, as you can see. I omitted the sleeves. It's literally just 2 rectangles sewn together, and there's obviously holes for the arms and the neck. So it's really easy and simple. It's a fun, intuitive lace pattern that I think looks a lot more difficult than it actually is. And I just want so many more of these in my wardrobe. I want to make more that is just like this. And I also want to make more of the original with the sleeves on there as well. So with mine, I actually did go down in needle size. I used a 4.5 millimeter, and I believe it suggests maybe a 5.5 millimeter. That might not be the accurate, but it definitely suggests a larger needle size and a thicker yarn. So I went down in my gauge to get a tighter fit for myself. So that is another way that you can play with the size range on this. And I did knit the size small, the smallest size on there. So in future, I think I would try and do the exact same thing, go for about a DK weight yarn, 4.5 millimeter needles, continue to knit the smallest size on there, because it just became a really nice fit for myself. It's not too oversized, but it's not too form-fitting. And so all of these factors I think is what made this piece so wearable for me and one of my favorites. It's also just a nice soft color, so I find myself gravitating towards those colors a lot more. Any bold colors that I have in my wardrobe, which aren't a lot, I don't find that I wear a lot. So that is something good for me to know going forward, is just like the type of color is very, very important for me and what I like to wear. I find that wearing these soft colors just is a nice calming tone for myself, and I don't like anything like too dark or too bright. So I think that's also played a role in why I wear this so much. And I think another reason why is I'm just really proud of this piece. I think the lace looks so beautiful. It's just really nice to look at. It looks like a piece of art, I think. So that's probably a huge reason as to why I wear this so much too. My next item here is the Field Day jacket by Ozetta. This is one that I have worn so much because not only do I wear it as a jacket, but I wear it as a cardigan as well. So I can wear this through most of the year, except for in the middle of the summer when it's a bit too hot. I'm not getting anywhere out of it, but from end of summer in the evenings all the way to through the beginning of summer when it still can be a bit chilly in the morning and evenings, I am wearing this sweater. This is just such an amazing sweater, and I think a lot of that has to do with the yarn. Here it is. I love this jacket so much. This is knit with Noro Viola in the color 27. This was gifted to me from Knitting Fever, and it's 100% wool. I think it's about a worsted weight. And again, it's these nice soft tones that I just love to wear, that I find very calming and beautiful to look at. So I think that's a huge reason why this gets so much wear. It's also just nice and oversized, super cozy, and it's really comforting to wear when I'm a little bit chilly. This was also a really nice construction because it's top down. It is drop shoulder, but you do make the button band as you go, which is a huge plus for me. I've talked about it many times. Unless I'm really in love with a cardigan, I will only knit cardigans that have you knit the button band as you go. And I also just really love the buttons that I paired with this. I think it works really well with this color changing yarn. And this is about a worsted weight yarn. It is a little bit thick and thin, so some areas are definitely thinner and you could get a DK weight gauge, but depending on needle size, I think you can get a worsted weight gauge with this. And it still just feels really light and airy. It gives a lot of warmth, but it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't feel like it's suffocating you. So I think that plays a huge role into why I wear it so much as well. And I just really like the V shape for a cardigan. So it's why I like that is because it can kind of show off what you're wearing underneath. I also like to wear this with the buttons closed up or open as well, so I can wear a lot of different pieces underneath it. And I don't know, I do see myself making more of these in the future. I think I could have more than one in my wardrobe, and like I said, I really enjoyed the process of it. It seemed to really fly by just with the larger gauge and larger needle sizes, but they weren't too large that it bothers my hands. It was just like a nice sweet spot, and it's a nice engaging pattern, but it's not difficult. The next piece here is the Rib Lace Raglan by James and Watts. This was knit in Elizabeth Lavold Silky Snow, no, silky, not Silky Snow, Silky Wool in the color Fresh Snow, my goodness. And that was gifted to me from Knitting Fever, and here is my Rib Lace Raglan. There are many reasons why I think this is one of my most worn pieces, and it has to do with, again, the color, the fiber content, and just the style of the piece. So the yarn, it is a mixture of silk and wool, so it's just a really nice light feeling. It is something that I can transition from winter to summer, no problem. I can wear this on cooler summer days. It's got a lot of airflow, lots of lace in there, and the silk just makes it a little bit more breathable. I also wear this in the wintertime. I can wear a tank underneath it if I need a little bit less airflow or a shirt underneath it. but it's still perfect and I can wear it underneath a cardigan as well in the wintertime. I modified this one by adding length to the sleeves. The original, I think, has you go here. Actually, that might not be a modification. That might be an option in the pattern, but I can't quite remember. Really simple to do though. There's no decreases in there, just straight down. And I really like this one because it has an I-cord finish for the necklines and the hems. And I just really like veering away from ribs, or from ribbing on the neckline and the hems, because I really associate that with thicker sweaters for some reason, or just more of a winter wear. And so I like to change it up with the I-cord every now and then because it just feels a bit more versatile and like I can have more of a summer top, and it's just a nice change for myself. So I really do like having something other than ribbing for the hem and the cuffs. Another reason that I wear this so much is the color. Of course, it is just a nice classic white, and again, it goes with so many things. I often wear it with this cardigan here. So it's just really nice because I can dress it up with some other colors if I want to, like with a cute skirt that's a different color, or some accessories. But it's just really nice to have some staple pieces in your wardrobe that have some neutral colors in them. And those are the ones that I find I wear the most. And might be a little bit boring, not as exciting, but it's true. I wear those ones the most, and I kind of want to make sure that I continue making more of those, just to make sure that I am getting the most wear out of all these pieces that I spend so much time and energy on. I actually would make this again. It was really enjoyable. I find that this lace repeat was really intuitive and it just created a really nice flow. I think I recall saying after I made this, or during the progress of making it, this is one that I could get into like a really nice flow state with, that it was just so enjoyable to work on. It was very rhythmic knitting on this, and once you get the hang of the short row shape, or no, there's no short row shaping, but you do have to work flat for a little bit to raise the back neck. And then once you get the hang of that, and also the raglan increases, you start to kind of get the pattern and the idea, and it becomes a lot more intuitive. And once I got the hang of it, it just became so enjoyable to knit on. So I really would like to make another one of these in the future, possibly a full sleeve one, or a 3/4 length. I also love that. And I would like to do it in maybe a little bit more of a drapier fabric, possibly something that has some hemp content or cotton linen blend with some silk, something like that, that can just have a little bit more drape. And it would be more so for summer, but something I can also wear in the wintertime paired underneath a cardigan if needed. Final item I'm going to talk about today is the Wabi-Sabi Cardi by Milena Juhola. I knit this in Sadness Garn Fritteds Garn in the colorway, 3021 beige, and this one is one of my most worn pieces because it acts mostly as a jacket in the fall and spring months. So I also do wear it as a cardigan from time to time in the winter, but it is a really good jacket. And I just fell in love with this cardigan because of this one simple feature. As you can see, it has a lateral braid across the body. It's also supposed to have a lateral braid on the arm and at the bottom of the head. Oh, I do have one down there. It's got one down there and in the middle. It's supposed to have one in the middle of the sleeves and at the bottom of the sleeves, but by that point, I really did not enjoy doing the lateral braids, so I just omitted those and only had them on the body, but I think that's plenty. It definitely has a nice little design element to it, and I'm fine that they're not on the sleeves. Another reason why I really love this one is the toggle buttons that I added. As you can see, this button band is knit separately. You have to go, or not separately, but you have to go and pick up stitches afterwards. And like I said, I prefer to have it knit as you go, but I really loved this piece, so I knit them afterwards. But it's just a really classic, nice jacket. This yarn is really lightweight and airy, yet warm and breathable, and again, this is a really well-worn piece because it's nice and neutral and I can wear pretty much anything underneath it, especially since it wears as a jacket. It's nice to have that neutral color. And this soft off-white, really light beige that's like slightly heathered is one of my favorite colors to wear for outerwear or just in general. I think it's really classic and timeless, goes with so many things. And again, it's just a nice calming color for myself. So that is a huge reason why I wear it so much. This is knit top down. It's another drop shoulder. I really like wearing an oversized drop shoulder for a outerwear piece. And I don't know if I would knit this again, possibly in the future. It's not that I didn't love doing the lateral braids. Other than that, the construction's quite enjoyable. I just don't know if I need another piece. But you know what? This is quite simple and just a regular jacket pretty much. So you know what? I could see myself knitting another one in the future, and maybe something in like a little bit darker. I would actually really like this in like a olive or army green. I think that would be really nice, and possibly change it up with like regular buttons instead of toggle. Although I really like the touch of toggle buttons, especially if you're using it as a jacket. I really like having the toggles there too. This piece was also just so fun to knit because it flew by. Again, it's a little bit bigger of a gauge that I'm used to working on, so I felt that it really just flew off my needles. And this was some yarn that I had in my stash for a really long time. I was going to use it for a different sweater, and that sweater never came to fruition. So I'm really happy I finally got it into an actual sweater that I'm getting a lot of wear out of. I would really like to use this yarn again. Again, it's the Sandisgarn Fritted Garn, and it's rustic, but it doesn't feel itchy by any means for myself anyway. And I would love to make another big sweater out of that yarn. So those are my top 5 most worn knits. All of the patterns mentioned today are linked down below, and I hope you enjoyed going through the list with me. I actually really enjoyed talking about all of my favorite pieces here. It's nice to discuss them again, especially because most of the time you mention them on your podcast and then they never really appear again unless you're wearing them in an episode and talk about them a little bit. But for the most part, that's when you're done discussing them. So it was really fun to pull them out and have a little discussion about them again and to talk about all the reasons why I love them so much. It definitely made me want to knit multiples of these, and I got to kind of go through my stash and see if I have any suitable yarn for any of these pieces. I'd love to know if any of you have a very clear most worn knit in your wardrobe and what that pattern is, so I can go check it out. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and thank you again, Ana Luisa, for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out my link below to get up to 25% off site-wide. Okay, thanks everyone. Happy knitting, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!